mental health with athletes has been around forever. It's just like never really talked about.
Hey, I'm Kim, and you're listening to Clear Your Mind. In this podcast, I discuss topics about teenagers' mental health from the perspective of a teenager. I share ideas on how mental health can be positively or negatively impacted by people's environments and other factors. For this episode, we discuss how student athletes' mental health can be negatively or positively impacted by their sports and how other parts of their lives contribute to their emotional well-being. For a little personal background about myself, I've been participating in sports since I was about 5 years old up until now. And growing up, I've gone through a few different sports. I started with dance and soccer at around the same time and stuck with soccer till now. I did a few years of dance until switching to gymnastics, also leaving that because soccer became my full-time thing once I joined a club. Although I loved it for so long, there were a few bumps in the road that made it feel hard to stay in my sport. Now let's get into the survey responses that will tell us what other student athletes have gone through in their sports and what factors take part into their mental health. According to my survey results, I have found that many student athletes have been positively impacted by their sports because it has given them an outlet for their emotions, such as anger and stress that has bubbled up throughout the day. Being able to make friends and have a second family within their team has also proven to help have a better environment within their sport. However, students are also negatively impacted by their sports. Some of these impacts include stressing about making mistakes, not having enough time to do homework or study, getting injured, and being both mentally and physically drained. I fully agree that these factors can create a tense mind when you know you have to show up to that practice or that game, but all you can think about is what's going on outside of your sport. Now, I would like to share with you a story submitted by Ava Gattoni about a time when she felt that soccer was negatively affecting her emotional well-being. She said, "When I was 10, I was a little bit different than I am now. I had glasses and I wasn't very athletic built. I had tried out for 4 clubs and they all denied me and said that I wasn't good enough. I ended up taking the year off to gain back my love for the sport, and I had tons of people telling me that maybe soccer wasn't for me, but I ended up coming back, but it wasn't very easy for me. Being told you're not good enough at 10 years of age can be pretty damaging." I think Ava's story can be very impacting for other people, especially who have been told they're not good enough in their sport. It can be very hard to stay in love with that sport when everyone's telling you you're not good enough, you're not made for it, like maybe it's not for you. Ava is now a sophomore in high school, and she is continuing to play soccer for a club and the high school team. I also think it's really important that Ava continued to try hard and work for her spot on a soccer team, considering how everyone was telling her not to do it and all that. Now, on the statistical side of things, I have found some shocking results about student athletes and their time management. Some statistics I have found within my data is that on average, student athletes spend at least 20 hours a week, if not more, on their sport, but only about 10 hours a week on family or friends and academics. Being able to have a good balance between all the important things in life has proven to be a challenge for many student athletes. Now we are going to talk to a couple of athletes here at AHS and ask them a few questions on their personal experiences about mental health in their sports. First, we have Kayla Goldrick, a senior who is captain of both the basketball team and the softball team. Let's hear what she has to say. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Kim.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Great. So just to start off, what sports do you play?
Right now, I play basketball for the high school and then also club, but I also used to play softball for the first 2 years of high school.
So how long have you been participating in all your sports?
Since elementary school, probably 2nd and 3rd grade, I started playing both basketball and softball.
Wow.
Yeah.
So since you've been playing for a very long time, I'm sure your sports do mean a lot to you and they're an important part of your life.
Yeah.
So in your own words, what do they mean to you?
Like you said, they do mean a lot to me since I have been playing since I was really little. They kind of just serve as an outlet for me. If I'm going through like something with my friend, or if I'm not really loving school, like not doing great, it's a good outlet. Like when I step on the court, it's just like all my stress kind of goes away, and I know I can just play basketball because that's what I've been doing ever since I was really little, and I love it. So it just serves as a good outlet for me, while also just like, sweating. Like I know sweating's a good, like it releases all like your happy emotions and everything. So that is just like a good reliever for me. And also it's just a fun thing to do. Like since I've been doing it my whole life, it's just kind of become who I am. I know I'm more than just a basketball player, but it's good to know that you have the kind of that security, like of just knowing who you are. So it definitely does mean a lot to me.
So with that, what is one time your sport has benefited your mental health?
So I'd say just it being on the court or on the field with my friends that I've known since I was little. Because of like I've made those friends because of sports. So I feel like that is in itself is great and is super beneficial because obviously at school, first day of kindergarten, like you're nervous to, meet new people, but with sports, you're kind of like forced into this group, and it's nice that, you can get friends out of it. And those are like lifelong friends, especially if you keep playing up until like high school or even college, you're going to keep making more friends. And I feel like friends are just really helpful with really anything, like mental health, just always being there for you. So I feel like that's a super beneficial part of playing sports. And also when you're playing well, you feel good about yourself. Like I said, if you're worried about your presentation at school the next day, but you're out there playing really well on the basketball court or on the softball field, you're going to feel great, and you're not going to be as stressed about, tomorrow, or like that you stumbled, like you fell or something in school yesterday. Like you're just in the present moment and you're just having fun. So I feel like that is it's a great feeling to know that you can escape from whatever worries you have, and you just have that as your outlet. So
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I feel like a lot of people can benefit from sports. Like, you can release like negative energy.
Yeah.
It gets you like active. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch of things that you can do with it.
Mm.
But of course, there's always negatives to that.
Yeah.
So, Kayla, what is one time where you felt like your sport was negatively impacting your mental health?
So I'd say definitely during the COVID year. I know everyone went through their own things, but we obviously had to stay at home, so we couldn't really play any sports. And since basketball I'd been playing for a while, and I honestly had been asking for a break for a long time, but I didn't know that was the break that I was going to be getting. So it really I was stuck at home. My parents work at hospitals, so they weren't really home because they had to be at work. So I was home by myself and an only child. So it was it was weird because I feel like every single day of my life, I'm always surrounded by a lot of people. And just to be alone all the time, it really negatively impacted my mental health, and just how I just felt like really alone at that time. And so I ended up trying to get a therapist she used to play sports, so she kind of knew what I was going through, which was super helpful. But yeah, just being alone in that aspect was not great. And another thing is just if you're not playing well on the court, that's something that really it definitely is a mood damper, because especially like I said, I've been playing it ever since I was little, so it's really become who I am. And no one wants to not perform well, whether it's in school, sports, in life in general. It's a horrible feeling because you don't want to let anyone down, you don't want to let yourself down. And so I think if I'm ever not playing well, especially when I was younger, it would just like ruin my mood for the rest of the day. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been better with that, but still, it's like, yeah, you never want to not perform well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I feel like you can be, like, in times, like, everyone just gets, like, super hard on themselves, you know, overthinking,
Yeah.
always thinking about, like, what you could have done better. Like, you always want to,
that's
like,
the
try
worst.
to, yeah, you always want to try to, like, change it, but, you know, you can't. It's in the past.
Yeah.
So, after that hard time, how were you able to overcome it?
So I think, like I said, I had talked to a therapist who had played basketball in college, and so she kind of knew what I was going through because, you know, mental health with athletes has been around forever. It's just like never really talked about. So talking with her really helped me realize that, you know, who I am without basketball. And it helped me on the court just be able to be confident in myself and know that I am capable. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I put in the work outside of, you know, outside of practice during the high school season. Like, I take extra time to work on my skill. So I feel like talking with her, other than, you know, my parents and my friends who know me, it's nice when, like, someone doesn't know you. I feel like it's easier to talk about what you're going through. So talking with her really helped me realize my worth on and off the court, and I feel like that just translated to my game and just helping me be more confident, be more of a, you know, leader on the court, and also help me communicate better with my friends. So that was really great.
Yeah. Communication is definitely a big part of, like, definitely, like, maybe overcoming something. No matter who you're talking to, it could be, like, a friend, family member,
Yeah.
a therapist. Like, I feel like it just makes things a lot easier, and maybe it even helps you, like, deal with that, like, hard thing that is in your mind.
Yeah.
So, obviously, this hard time, and you overcame it, and maybe, you know, there's obviously, you're continuing to play sports, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously there's going to be a lot more like that. But, and you've been playing for a long time, so how is your bond with your sport? How's that been built throughout, like, your whole career?
So I'd say when I was little, my dad always, like, he was a big, like, advocate of me playing sports, which I'm super thankful for now because I realized how much it's taught me just, like, life skills, like you said, communicating, just being able to face adversity, and I feel like that translates into any job, any friendship, like, just being able to deal with hard situations. And so when I was younger, I loved it because, you know, you're like a little kid, like, what don't you like other than, like, broccoli? So it was really fun. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, like, I'm good at this, you know, like, I want to keep continuing it. And then obviously COVID hit, and that it really hurt my relationship with basketball because you know, you weren't really able to do anything. I wasn't always going outside because I had so much free time now that I had always been asking for because I was always so busy being, like, a multi-sport athlete. And when I first started playing after the COVID, I sucked, and I was like, oh, like, what happened? Like, I was this great player, and I feel like now, like, I can't even make a layup. So that really just, I started to not really enjoy basketball anymore, and it just felt like it wasn't a hobby anymore. It just felt like I was doing it just because I've always done it. And it was like I didn't want to quit because, you know, you've been in it for this long. Why are you going to stop now? And then I slowly, you know, I talked with my friends, other people who helped me realize, and coaches. Obviously, coaches are a huge part of just enjoying what sport you play. If you don't have a great coach, it also ruins it for you. So just having a good support system around me really helped. I'm super grateful for that. So that really helped me rebuild my relationship with basketball, and ever since then, since probably, like, freshman year of high school, I've just been building and building and having a greater relationship with basketball because, you know, it's definitely helped with my confidence off the court, my communication off the court, and it just makes you feel good when, you know, you are confident in yourself and that translates and you play well. It makes you feel great as a person. So now I love basketball. I'm going to college to play basketball. So it's just, I love it. And it's fun now where it wasn't always fun. And so I'm glad I got that back because it's just a great outlet.
I love that for you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank you.
Kayla had a lot of great things to share about her personal experiences with something she has gone through with her long-time commitment in basketball. Now, we are going to talk to another senior, Sean Kaswale, who is captain of the boys indoor track team. Hey, Sean.
Hi, Kim.
So what sports do you play?
I run winter and spring track.
And don't you do cross country too?
No,
You don't?
not anymore.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay. So how long have you been participating in track?
I've been doing track all 4 years of high school. I'm a senior now, so this is my 8th season.
Wow. Okay. So just give me a brief explanation of what your sport means to you.
So to me, track is basically my way of putting myself out there with other people and using my energy to do something I believe is good. So whether that be running with teammates that all do different events, or if it means leading people doing their events, to me, track is a place to put my best efforts into something that I see immediate results for, and to be surrounded by high-achieving people.
Great. So what is one time your sport has benefited your mental health?
Definitely after a hard day of school, I'm glad to be able to be surrounded by my friends. And another thing, track gets my mind off of whatever I was going through, maybe chemistry, maybe math. It's kind of mindless in the way that you're just exercising, and it's good for me. I believe it's good for my mental health because I stopped thinking about what I had going on before, and I just think about what I'm doing right now, which is running.
So, off of that, what is one time where you felt like your sport was negatively impacting your mental health?
Definitely the competition is a good and bad thing. I say this because a lot of it is a toxic winning mindset where you want to win no matter what. That's brought us to get PRs, do better than we ever have. But at the same time, when you lose, it's kind of like you no longer deserve the good that you had before. For example, we lost last night to Franklin. We haven't lost a game in 2 years, and this is the first time we ever lost. And everyone was having a terrible time afterwards. Yet we broke a record in the 4x2, and people were getting PRs all around.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like track, even though you are competing against different teams, it could seem like it's like basically you're competing against yourself sort of, like in your own mind.
Absolutely.
So after this hard time, especially last night, how have you been able to overcome it, or what kind of things help you when you're having a rough time with track?
When I'm having a tough time in track, I know I have so many people I can turn to. I have my coach, Coach Whitefield, all my teammates, my friend Austin, my friend Jake. I turn to my parents very often because they're not the type to have done sports like that in their college days, but they're always my biggest fans, and they cheer me on no matter what. Whether I win or not, they're always there for me to turn to. And I like to pray to God. When I pray to God, it's the same kind of feeling where it's me and myself. So when I pray, it's like I'm connected to myself more than ever, and I feel comforted to know that someone cares about me out there.
Yeah, I definitely think the people you surround yourself with during those hard times is really important. So after all this, after the hardship, how does it make you stronger? How does it build that bond with your sport?
So I would say the hardship builds the bond of the sport because it makes us want to win just that much more. You know, we've already been wanting to win, and we have been winning. But when something is taken away from you, you want that badly now. You don't want to lose what you just had. So definitely when we have something that we have to overcome, it brings the best out of people. I know it brings the best out of myself too.
Yeah. And I know Hawks is in a few weeks, so I hope you all are working very hard to get that Hawk win.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's all I have for you today, Sean.
All right.
Wow. Sean had some really great insight on how to overcome challenges and cope during hard times. A big thank you to our wonderful interviewees for sharing their thoughts. To finish off this episode, I just want to share some additional ways to manage your stress for athletes. According to the Rogers Behavioral Health Organization, some tips for athletes to manage their stress are by recognizing your feelings and emotions, having a support system, and working on coping strategies that work for you. The link for the rest of this article will be in the description below. It is super important for student athletes to remember that it is okay to take a break if you need to tend to your mental health, because at the end of the day, your mental health is the most important thing. Thanks for listening to the very first episode of Clear Your Mind, and stay tuned to see what's to come. Have a great rest of your day and stay happy. Bye.